Flaming Thunder's done, Santa Pod season, Finny. All we've got left to look forward to now is World Cup finals in Maryland, which is next week. And week after is going to Malta. We're going to do a bit of go-karting and having a party, just a get-together, a load of the Maltese people and any of the English or any international people going to Malta. We're having a party. You can see European FWD, or you can see the Facebook page for that. More details on that, everyone's welcome. Alcohol, food, stuff like that. But in the meantime, starting to plan for the winter. Of course, we've just got the R32 for Sextoy 3.0. Mark 5, I had so many plans for it. And Jamie and Andy love watching these videos because every time they watch a video they go, what are we doing next? Just picked up a built 20 valve turbo engine that used to be in Pirate's Looper. Now that did pinch at Drag Days 2021. Taking a gamble on it. Going to assume the top end is okay. That head is a ported head, it's got dual valve springs, it's got oversized valves on the exhaust and the inlet, I think. Either way, everything's done. And what I was going to spend on stuff and then have to get it done, it was worthwhile taking a gamble on that engine. So there is a bottom end, I think it's a 1.9 litre now. So it's got like the 2 litre TFSI crank with Pro Race rods and some aftermarket pistons and stuff. But we'll pull that motor apart and have a look. Fingers crossed, it's just some bearings. And let's be honest, with coated race bearings on our side, that could be a set of bearings away from being a decent motor for someone. I've got no use for it because I've got the 1.8 in here, I've got the 1.8 in the TT. I don't want to start messing with things and making it a 1.9. I really don't. Do I? Or do I not? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that's for another time. Either way, so we've got that engine to go in there, so we've got a new cylinder head, so that means we can turn that up to like 500 horsepower. I'm hopefully going to get all the rear brakes while we're in World Cup finals. Obviously it's going to be a custom rear axle, so I'm going to have a look around. The best thing is you can go to Maryland, there's so many, so there's probably like 300 traders there. And last year there was someone selling a complete rear hub setup for a Honda Civic with your hub, your stub axle, your brake disc, your brake caliper, and everything was there. And obviously because we're making a custom rear axle, it doesn't really matter what car that was for because Lee will make it fit. Just means I've got to change the rear wheels, which is currently 5x112, so those will go, and I'll end up getting some 32 racing wheels at 4x100. It's pretty easy really. But yeah, so that's the Golf, the smart car. We've got to do an engine on that in the next couple of weeks. So when we come back from World Cup finals, the lads have said that's going to take a weekend. There you go. We're going to do a, can we rebuild a smart car in one weekend anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to take the sump off this. I'm going to put the sump from the 12 valve onto here, change the oil pump pickup as well. There's not really much left to do on this. Take this oil filter off, the water pump out, and basically that's that engine ready to be stored. I've got to take the inlet off the 12 valve, which is back at home, bring that in here, and then basically whenever Lee can fit that in, give Lee the exhaust manifold and the inlet manifold and make them fit. And then that'll be kind of an engine, kind of like a mock engine ready to bolt to the power glide to go in the dragster and have the dragster built at some point. Again, I need to go back to work. When I come back from Malta, it's straight back to work. It's harvest time. I've always said winter is harvest time, and this year most certainly is harvest time. I've got to make up for a lot of time off. So yeah, anyway, let's get this stripped and go on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take all the bolts out of here. I've got the sump for the 12 valve, And because some bolts are long, some bolts are short, I'm literally going to take them out of here and I'm going to put them straight in there, so they should all correlate to where they came from. So in here, baffle sump, and you see, it's a bit dirty. You obviously got the baffle sump system, and then we've got these flaps here, which open and close for oil. Because the engine goes this way, it's to stop the oil sloshing, so it can only go one way or the other, if you know what I mean. So we've got the flaps, one there and one there, so when the engine is that way, the oil will automatically, under acceleration, go this way, and that flap will close, and it won't allow it all to gush to one end. Brad from Bigger Motorsport made this for the 12 valve. We should continue on to the R32. That American plug, because sump heater. We've got 112 in the pits, and we just use that to basically heat up the oil in the morning. Thought I'd take this time to talk to you about the European front wheel drive no prep series. We had Flame of Thunder last weekend, lots of people asking me about it. What's going on, how it's going to work, where we're going to do it, why we're doing it, and stuff like that. And essentially, the answer was, so at present we have 3 rounds of the no prep series. Reason we're doing it is Comp Eliminator is doing fantastic. The numbers are growing. Scott Lurie's joining next year, Alan Duffy's joining next year, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of others as well. Luke White, I fully expect Luke White to be out with his Civic. So Comp Eliminator is growing. So next up on the agenda, front wheel drive drag series. We had 4 entrants this year. Darren, Emma, and it was basically team street races. Darren, Emma, Ahmed, and Amir. Again, expect that to grow next year. Same thing, those rounds will be opposite to Comp Eliminator. The idea is that if your car is legal for Comp Eliminator, your car is legal for front wheel drive drag series. And why wouldn't you enter the front wheel drive drag series if you've got a car that is legal? It gives you another place to race. So there's no reason why you wouldn't enter. No prep series. This is more aimed at people who have got a 12-second car, an 11-second car, a 10-second car. You're more than welcome. If you've got a 9-second car, come and join us. Come and have a play. We would like you in the series, but you're racing on the no prep surface. It's only 8 miles, so when that big turbo stalls in, the race is over. At that point, have you had a good start? Is the lower power car already well out in front of you? That's going to be the exciting thing. It is going to be a championship. There is 3 rounds. You have to attend. You will have to attend at least 1 round, at least 2 rounds, sorry. You will have to have attended at least 2 rounds to be eligible for the prize. So essentially, I don't want someone turning up at 1 race. It happens to be the biggest race of the lot with the most entries, and all of a sudden you get the most points. How are we going to do the points? Not 100% yet. Most likely exactly the same as the front wheel drive drag series, exactly the same as most races, where you get 100, you get 10 points for every qualifying position, you get 100 points for every eliminations round you win, and you get double points on the final. Do I think many are going to enter? I hope so. Because people always moan that there's nowhere to go and they can't afford to do the big money stuff. Well, this isn't big money. we're not asking you to go and cage your car. All the races are designed to meet each track's rules. So if the track says you have to have this, then you have to have this. If the track says you have to have that, you have to have that. But majority of these tracks are run with run rules only. We're not doing it because we don't care about safety, we're doing it because it is the first year of the series. We want to see if it works. Now next year, if we get the dream amount of cars, see, my dream is 20 cars. If we get 20 cars to turn up to the No Prep Series, 8 mile series, on a 16 car ladder, that, my friends, is a win in my eyes. What do you think? What are you fighting for? Well, fingers crossed, some prizes. Ignitol Oils, a new name in the UK, coming out of the same factories as many of our competitors are known around the globe. Ignitol Oils are the named sponsor to the event. There's going to be some oil deals for all of our racers. Now, of course, a lot of our racers use their oil. You do one race, you throw that oil away. It's like a consumable. It's quite expensive. And this oil is very good. It's tested, tried and tested in many vehicles, and of course, is available at a very good price if you own a garage by the barrel full. So if you're doing servicing, then you can get some of this oil by the barrel, and you're going to save yourself a bit of money, and especially at the moment. If your garage is looking to save a couple of quid on every service, and that's going into your pocket, then this is perfect for you. So number one, look up Ignitol Oils on Facebook. And number two, you're going to learn a lot more about them in 2026. Then we have another sponsor who I'm currently in discussion with. It's not 100% yet, but they are looking to put a prize on the championship winner. So if you are the person that most likely attends all 3 rounds, doesn't mean you're going to win all 3 rounds, but the fact that you attended all 3 rounds means that you're going to be in more of a chance of winning the championship, because there is currently only a prize for first place. You've got to be in it to win it. So mark the calendars for all 3 of our no prep races. I've tried to space them as well as possible with the calendar that I have. Obviously, I'm running it, so I want to be at the race. But unfortunately, my calendar is very full with doing dates at Santa Pod Raceway. I expect dates for Malta, how far to come through at some point, because they will be back in 2026. How their schedule is going to work out, I don't know yet. So I haven't been able to schedule anything later on in the year. So admittedly, it is 1 round in May at Crail Raceway in Scotland. That's going to be the opening round. So you've got a bit of a drive. Hands up. Who has ever been to Crail Raceway in Scotland? I haven't yet. I'm going to go next year. Then we're going to go to Melbourne Raceway in August for their August meeting, and then we will go to Manston Raceway in Kent by the sea in late August, on the August bank holiday. Now that's going to work out that the event is on a Saturday. You can arrive on a Friday. We do the qualifying Saturday, elimination Sunday, and you go home Sunday night, or you can go home Monday. Paul from Manston has said people are welcome to stay over if they wish. So that's your 3 dates at the moment. Now, I am in discussion about something else. Cannot confirm, cannot deny anything on it as of yet. So we shall wait and see. So at the moment, let's just plan for 3 rounds. I've had other people message me already saying, can we do other rounds? And the answer is yes, it would be lovely, but I want to be able to walk before we run. I want to make sure this works. I don't want to go and plan a 6-round series and then absolutely flop. That would be absolutely gutting, because it takes a lot of work. Everyone thinks it's just, oh, let's just go and enter. No, it takes planning, it takes event organisation, it takes making the rules, it takes speaking to the racers, making sure everyone understands what we're going to do, what it's all about. It's not easy. So, before anyone moans about it, let's just try and build something. Everyone always tells me, there's nothing for the slower cars. Well, here you go. Here is something. And hopefully from here, you grow. I'm going to do it. It's good. Someone will ask the question, am I going to do it? The plan is, yes. My car is, hopefully next year, a 10th second car. So I will be entering the No Prep series. I think we've got some decent stuff on the car that can help us run on a no prep. My boys know how to tune to a track. And of course I want to be part of it because I'm organising it. So let us know in the comments if you think it's something you'd be interested in, and hopefully we can get it going. I'm going to do a little invitational thing. Now of course the invitation is not, oh it's free, because unfortunately it is going to cost. It's going to cost you a European front-wheel drive membership. That'll be something new next year. We're working on some discounts and stuff, but what does that membership pay for? Well, that pays for my time to go and organise these races, my time to have the day off before a race and day off after a race to go and organise these things. So it'll pay for trophies, it'll pay for the time that I spend chasing sponsors, not making lots of money. It's basically just a membership fee that means I've got some guaranteed fundage, but I can go and make some banners, I can go and make some flags. There we go, Sump on. There you go, so gone is the cast one, that's already sold to someone, so that's off to another car. As I said, heater pad, it is from America, it came from Brad. So it has got the is it the 110? Yeah, it's got the 110 plug on it, which we've got an inverter in the pits. We run the lights off 110, so that just plugs in as well. And then we've got an oil temperature sensor and an oil pressure sensor. So if something lets go and it sees the pressure build up in there, it knows ECU fuel tech will go, whey, something's going wrong. Oil temperature, obviously we keep an eye on the temperature because we put the heater on in the morning and it boils up the oil. Good thing about that is, and I really, if you're doing comp eliminator, you've got your electric at all times, put one of these on your sump. They're like 40 quid and they're a game changer. Wake up in the morning, open your oil cap, turn that on, walk away, go and have your coffee, go and have your breakfast, while this thing heats up your oil, burns off your methanol, or if you're on E85, burns off your E85, and it's just a game changer. The amount of people that go down to the start line with a stone cold engine and expect their engines to last. Well, my oil was at like 90 degrees before we even leave the pits. All you got to do is fire it up, put a tiny bit of heat in the water, and that's it. But to be honest, you don't need heat. You want heat in the water, do you? Anyway, sump on. Next job. Right then, the difference between the 12 valve or 2.8 litre VR6 and the 3.2 litre R32. I'm just looking at what I've got to move over and hopefully salvage off this engine to put on this engine. Obviously the cylinder head's on here, not on here. I've swapped over the sumps now because this is my custom sump that Brad made. So that's gone on there now. We have got the Schimmel Performance oil filter housing That is an oil cooler. We don't need that. That's going to come off in a second because we've got an oil warmer and we have no reason to want to cool down our oil because we're going to do a run, hopefully, 6 seconds, turn it off, no more. At the moment, the water pump is still on here because I haven't got that bolt. I haven't got that socket fitting on me. But over here, as you can see on the dragster, that was blocked off anyway. This was the mount for my mechanical fuel pump. So I've got to take this off. That'll bolt straight onto there. Coming over here, we've got a blank here for the water. What used to be the crack pipe. Again, no water in this block, no water in that block. So this is going to come out, fingers crossed. It's going to bolt exactly to there. Now on the VR6, this used to be the water cooler mount. Obviously we blocked that off because we didn't have any water in there. So this is a billet cup that just bolted on and stopped any water coming out. Not that we had any in there, but yeah. Or did the oil go through it? Yeah, the oil used to come out of here and go back through. Now obviously on the R32 we don't have that, unless that's what this is. Obviously that's already blocked off like that. So what I'm going to have to look at is find out is what that is for. Yeah. Now inside the 12 valve, as you can see, I think conrods are just dangling down, in fact. But we do have the ARP hardware again. We are going to use the 12 valve crank in the R32 engine to make it an R30. So this crank is going to come out. I'm going to take the main set as well. And also this crank will take over the fluid damper with the pulley for our mechanical fuel pump. I'm sure some people will be like, no, don't use the fluid damper. Well, it's been on there for long enough. It has not come off. It's been perfectly fine for us. So it is staying on the R32. There we go, see? Just a nice piece there that Lee made up. And again, that holds the fuel pump. That should fit onto there. Again, I think I've got to fit into that. So yeah. Well, so you just required a little bit more anger. Now, I don't have to worry about the seal on this, although it is pretty good, because we're not going to have any water in this engine. So it is what it is. Right. European FWD.co.uk, our brand new home for everything European front-wheel drive. Have you been to check it out yet? It has taken us, God, do you know what? It's been quite embarrassing saying for years and years. People are like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, oh, European front-wheel drive. No, is that, do you have a website? And I'm like, no, it's just Facebook. And for years it's been quite embarrassing just saying no, it's just a Facebook. Now we've finally got a website, we've finally got a home to send people to look more professional, to improve what we can do for you guys. So please make sure you're using it. The more people I can get to go in to use it regularly, obviously the more I can look to get some partnerships with it, which again in turn will go towards the stuff that we do. Yes, the t-shirts that we sell is amazing, and we've done that from the shop, and the shop is available from the website as well. So please do go to the shop and buy some of our t-shirts and stuff like that, especially at the moment we've got them on sale. So go to European FWD.co.uk and have a look what's the deal on there. I'm going to bash this in, not care about the seal, because the seal has been used. seal is now abused. We'll replace it. This is why I'm not allowed to do stuff on engines, because I don't have the patience to do shit. Jamie and Bosel currently watching right now going, it's true, it's true. Not that it really matters anyway, there's no water in this engine. Doesn't really matter. There we go. One of the things we've got to do is take this AN fitting off this engine. So this is an oil gallery that runs from the back of the block down and feeds the oil to the crank. Now, because we have the engine longitudinal in the dragster, sometimes it can starve the oil from going down that gallery because of the amount of force that you're giving it. It can starve the oil from getting there, which of course has done lots of damage to people with longitudinal engines with their VR6s. So what you have to do is tap into this gallery and then take an oil feed, and then this oil feed would have come round here and it would have gone to my oil cooler area, the Schimmel area. As you see, got that one there, so it do exactly the same. So I'll take the oil from here. This is why we use the Schimmel ones, because you've got the one for the turbo and you've got a spare one. So it's clean oil that will be taken around here. And basically what we're going to do is tap into there. See that there? That's where we'll tap it to, and exactly the same. You've got the oil gallery running along the back, and the oil would go into there. Actually, it goes that way. But what we do is we put an extra fitting, so it pumps extra oil into the back there. So if you've got a VR6 or an R32 and you're planning on doing it longitudinal, you need to do that. If you're running drag racing, because it sloshes. So, engine turned over now. We've got the pipe in there to block the water pump. Again, I've got to replace the O-ring on there. Not really, but because this engine will be concreted, this water pump's got to come out, but I haven't got the fitting, the socket for those. So I shall leave that for another day, even though I've got that there. I need to work out what this pipe here is. So if you know in the comments, let me know. There's a pipe here. Did that go to an oil cooler or something? Is that oil that comes out of there? Or is that coolant? That's something I've got to work out. But yeah, I need to go back home with the toolkit, take the inlet manifold off the 12 valve cylinder head. We've got the flange for this, so then it'll be a case of taking this engine over to Lee's function over form. Lee will then cut the 12 valve manifold off the actual manifold plenum. He's got the flange, he'll make the runners, and that will be that side done. The same on the other side. We've got the exhaust manifold that comes up and over once again. Again, I've got the flange. Lee will chop off and just adapt it to run on this engine. And then we'll base it up and over once again with the turbo kind of in the back on this side. What turbo are we going to get? Well, let's be honest, we need a dragster first before we even start thinking about a turbo. So it'll be dragster chassis would be the next port of call, is getting that made. But the main thing is, obviously, I've got this into a position where I can put the power guide gearbox onto here. At that point, I can put the fuel pump on. I can put, basically I just want everything in its place, so when it goes to the chassis builders, they know exactly where not to put the bars, because that's what we had with the last setup. There used to be a strengthening bar come down around about here, and obviously originally if we wanted to run an alternator, which we didn't, it was in the way. When we were trying to do the fuel pump, it was in the way. So I want this engine to be built exactly as it's going to go into the car, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so it's like one engine in, one engine out. 12 hours in the Galaxy, the R32. Done as much as I can on that for today. So the next one is going to be this 1.9 litre 20 valve turbo that we got off a Pirate. Goal is to take the cylinder head off. It is a large port. It's got operated valves, operated springs. That can just bolt directly onto there. Put our NA cams into there, and we can turn the boost up to like 500 horsepower ready for next season and make a lot more power. The bottom end, it's a bit fancy as well, I believe, but there was an issue with it, so that'll come at another time. We'll have a look at that at some point, because we're not really bothered about the bottom end. It's the top end that we wanted, and instead of just going and buy loads of stuff in America, I mean, it's already here, so we're going to use that. So I'm going to get that onto the engine stand, and then we can basically start tearing bits off it that we know we don't need and get it in a position so that when the boys are down, we can get this cylinder head off, put it straight on there. That car can then be wrapped up, and she's good for the winter. Let's go. Well, she's on the stand. Can't really see in there, can you? But the valves look at least straight. That's the only thing we can just hope for, really. And pray it was nothing like that. It's a gamble. It could pay off. It might not. We never know. But we'll see. But yeah, as we said, cylinder head off here. Can just bolt straight onto the Don. Obviously, the Don's already got RTMG performance rods in there. It's got stock BAM pistons and coated race bearings. This does have the TFSI crank, some aftermarket pistons and some rods, but again, we don't know what's wrong with it underneath, so we've got to pull that apart and have a look and see what the prognosis for this engine is before we decide what we can do with it. You never know, it could end up in the TT. A 1.9 litre TT on a stock KO4, like the most overbuilt, but the TT would last a long time, fingers crossed. I don't know. Anyway. Well, there you have it. Just a short episode. Race season is now finished, so it's all going to be basically winter projects on the European Front Wheel Drive channel as we set to making the Don go faster. 6.3.0, going to start collecting parts for that. TT going in the unit to sleep away for the winter. Maybe we'll do a can we fix the smart car in 48 hours video. Who knows? But yeah, so R32 kind of stripped and ready for the boys to come down, and we'll do a weekend on that. This 20 valve turbo on the stand again, ready for the boys to come down, and we'll have a weekend on this. Coming up next week, World Cup Finals, Maryland and America. I'll post some videos from that. And again, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment. See you in the next video.